Welcome back to The Price of Business. I am your host, Kevin Price, talking to you about you and your business. Going to spend some time again with Chris Kidd. In fact, we got him, had him last segment. We got him this segment. We have him for the next segment. Next segment coming up, we're going to talk about coaches' compensation, and that's going to be an interesting conversation for college coaches. But we're going to continue the sports and business theme as we move along, and delighted to have our next guest lined up. But before we do that, Chris, real quickly, tell us about what you do, and do want to remind the listener they can check him out at chriskidd.com.
Well, I'm Chris Kidd. I'm a financial coach. Basically, the short version is I teach people how to be a lot smarter with their money, how to make better decisions and get more out of it, and how to understand finances better, whether it's a personal finance or investing or what have you. But more of a teacher than a sales guy. My goal is to educate my clients and so that they can understand rather than having to ask what to do. My guest today is Erick Schiffer. He is a best-selling author, entrepreneur, chairman and CEO of Patriarch Private Equity. He's got a laundry list of amazing stuff, including being a member of Mensa. So anyhow, we've got a pretty awesome segment lined up here. Good to have you on, Erick.
Thank you. That was very kind of you. I appreciate it.
Erick, tell us, kind of give us your elevator speech. With a resume like yours, it may not be something you can do with ease, but I bet you've got something that you could share with us.
Well, I have built 2 Inc. 5,000 businesses. I have, as you had mentioned, Patriarch Private Equity, and we have a portfolio of companies. One is the largest online reputation management business in the world called reputationmanagementconsultants.com, and we manage the reputations for many A-list celebrities, CEOs of Fortune 500 companies, political leaders, etc., around the world. And I have another business called reviewmanagement.com, which manages reviews, online reviews for small and medium-sized businesses that are having problems with online reviews or looking for more word-of-mouth business, and this really enhances and builds up their word-of-mouth business online. And then also digitalmarketing.com, which is one of the leaders in the space of advertising and digital marketing within the web and mobile.
Very good. Chris?
How did you get into these different businesses? I know some of them can intertwine a little bit, but what was it that kind of drove you to these, or what was your passion behind it?
I think I was always interested in technology. Even as a kid, my dad had bought me an Apple II computer, and always fascinated by what you could do with it. And, there was no internet back then. The closest you'd get is the bulletin board. And I grew up in Silicon Valley, so I was exposed to a lot of very interesting people and programmers. And when the net first happened, really in the mid-'90s, I was a very early adopter and doing work with Yahoo, who was a client, and they were one of the big dogs back then. And I remember when Google had first launched, and people had talked about what a good idea it was, but they really had nothing in the early stages. And then seeing opportunities to leverage what they were building in ways that would help clients. We were early in the reputation space. It started at 7 years ago. There was really no clients. People didn't have issues online. And over time, that became a really big business. And I knew it was going to happen. I just had to wait it out. But I think that's sort of the lineage. And the interesting thing is that no matter who you are, if you have a love or a passion and you want to keep learning and growing, you can really build up an expertise in literally anything within technology in a 6 to 12 month period of time, because it changes so fast. And there are always going to be opportunities and what I would consider to be gaps or pain points that people need solved. And there's no shortage of money for good ideas that have a good team that show the capability to execute. So for entrepreneurs that are considering these areas, they're clearly a way of entry is to begin to build your knowledge base and your education, and the best way to do that is just get in and begin to study it. Get in, just start reading, and it's all available. That's the great thing. I mean, there would always be this dearth of data 20 years ago where you couldn't find out some specialized knowledge. Not today. Literally everything is available for you, and so if you're self-motivated and you're driven and you're passionate about these things, this is your time.
Yeah,
just stay at it, and that's the exciting thing about the world that we live in today.
Erick, with very limited time, I wanted to also find out, what kind of individuals, what kind of businesses pursue a company like yours?
I think for the reputation space, that would be business leaders or individuals who have had challenges in their past, and who hasn't, where their current online reputation may not represent who they are today and the changed individual that they may be today, or just the fact that they may have had an unfortunate incident that may have had nothing to do with them, and it still haunts them online. And so they want to present themselves in a way that shows who they are today, and shows all the good things that they've done in the world, and adequately balances that in a fashion that if someone were to Google them and see them, that they would get a clear picture of the quality person that they are today. That's typically the target on the reputation side. On the small side, and they would go to reputationmanagementconsultants.com. On the reviewmanagement.com side, it's for businesses that are small to medium size that are looking to grow the word-of-mouth business. And what people don't realize is that, and there are a lot of studies that show this, that if you see a review online that's positive about a business, people internalize what they read as if they had heard it from a good friend. They really don't know the difference today on an unconscious level. So you can affect word-of-mouth business about your business, which is how most small businesses get their business, by the way, is word-of-mouth through service. You can affect and control word-of-mouth business by having a platform and a technology that both collects reviews that may already exist about you online or helps you propagate more real reviews. And that's what our technology does.
Hey, Erick, you're going to have to forgive me. Time runs really fast. I got to wrap it up. Which website? You have two, but let's just name one to make it easier for people to get to you. Which one would you recommend people to check out?
Go to erickschiffer.com. You can read more about me, or also follow me on Twitter. That's probably another good idea, at Erick Schiffer. And that'll give you more data on things that I'm up to. And also, I write for Forbes, so you can also read some of my articles at Forbes.
Erick, thanks so much. Chris Kidd.
Pleasure.
You can find him at chriskidd.com. Real quickly, 30 seconds, Chris, final thought.
Well, I definitely want to follow up with Erick on some stories that he's working on. So we'll be in touch, Erick. Hopefully get something on U.S. Daily Review.
Nice to meet you.
You too.
Take care, guys.
All right. When we come back, much more for you. Do want to remind you, best content here shows up over there at usdailyreview.com, and you're listening to The Price of Business.